Hello, everyone. It's William here. How are you all doing? Thank you for joining me tonight. Oh, it's a chilly night. Oh, I'm like, ooh, it's pretty chilly. Andrew has the heater downstairs. He's in a meeting, so he has a board meeting that he's on right now, and so you've got me tonight. Hello. Thank you for joining. Um, it's been a very busy weekend here at Allegory Gallery. But first, I'm going to say hi to people. I've got the comments working. I think they're on this side of the screen for you all. Comments working over here. I did my little trick again, and I think it works. So, Marianne is here, says hello from warm Edmonton. Got to 6 degrees Celsius today. Ooh, balmy. I don't know what that is. What is that? 6 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Oh, you got to 42. That is warm. That is warm, almost 43 degrees. That's nice. Norma says hello from cold central Kentucky. We got down to 1 degree last night, Fahrenheit. The coldest it's gotten this early in the winter in 36 years. It is very cold here. I think Andrew mentioned this. Our poor computer, the I think he thought it was an update that did this. It took away the clock. It's not an update. It's a failing computer. Our clock is no longer showing up on our desktop. Um, things are starting to fall, unfortunately. Today, I think our high was 17. My watch said 18 at one point, so 18 degrees. It is now 14 degrees. Our low is 5, which is wickedly cold. 1 degree is worse, right? Not much worse, right? 5 to 1, but still, it's very cold. Hello, Susie. And hello, Norma, by the way. Susan is here, says it got down to 15 degrees down here in Durham last night, and I thought that was bad. Yeah, it is. Right now, like I said, it's 14 here right now, and I think it's going to go down to 13 tonight and then start to go up a little bit. We're going to get into the mid 30s tomorrow. And by Thursday, though, we're going to be almost at 50 degrees. It's wild. So, what else? Yeah, it's been cold. It's been snowy. Hello, Susie. Thanks for joining us. Other Susie is here. Susie, Susan. Suzanne is here. Hello, Suzanne. Cold here, but record warm by Christmas, says Suzanne. Yuck. Oh my goodness. Marion says maybe living at latitude 53 isn't so bad, although we are getting some freezing rain. Ooh, I don't know. I don't like that. I do not like the freezing rain. The snow we've been dealing with. And we got about 6 to 8 inches of snow. I didn't go out and check it. I just shoveled it, and Andrew shoveled it. But it was we got some snow. I don't know when it was. Friday. Friday, and then it started snowing. I guess it was Saturday. I don't know. Anyway, we got a lot of snow overnight. I know we got a lot of snow overnight, Saturday into Sunday. We woke up Sunday and it was like that. And it was very bitterly cold. Like I was just shoveling and my hands were like freezing. That stinging cold kind of freezing. Like, it's not so bad when you're out shoveling. Um, and of course, I didn't have my gloves on. So I'm out there shoveling, and it's not usually so bad. Like when it's that big fluffy snow like it was, it's usually okay. So I go out and shovel and it's okay. But it was freezing cold. My hands were like stinging by the time I was done. But one of our neighbors was kind enough to snow blow part of our driveway. So we're very thankful for that. That was kind of amazing. So while our car was still piled up on one side of the driveway, the other side was nice and empty for us to pull into later that day, which was amazing. So we were really appreciative of that. We've got awesome neighbors, I have to say. Um, But getting to Johnstown all weekend was a little bit wild. Saturday night, we took the long way home. Andrew came up to the store while I was at the show that we were at, and the show was amazing. It was such a nice time. Um, the house that we were in is called the Russell House in Moxham, and it is beautiful. It is available for rentals. If anyone's interested in this area, you can rent it out for various occasions, holiday parties, weddings, things like that. So all those reels and pictures that I showed of that house, that is available to be rented through the holiday season. Um, but Andrew came up to the store with me on Saturday. Friday he did not, because I was at the store. I was at the store Friday. Wow. I was at the store Friday, and um, I did most of the day at the store, and then I went over for a kind of, it was a preview night for those who made all those trees that you may have seen in my pictures, the Christmas trees all through that house. They were all done by volunteers and organizations that donated the trees. So I we went over there, and it was really just to get to know everyone. It was kind of a cocktail hour that we were invited to, but they also said we might make some sales. So I went over and manned the booth, the table, and it was a good night. Um, and met a lot of nice people. And then on Saturday, Andrew came up with me, and he was at the store, so I was able to tell people, "Hey, we're 2 blocks away. Go head over and see what he's up to." And a number of people did, so that was great. And so it was good to introduce people to the store. And then we had some fairly decent sales that day, which was nice. Um, and we made our table fee back. That's the big thing, right? Do you make your table fee back? We definitely made our table fee back in the first night, so that was good. So anything above and beyond that was bonus. Andrew was up conditioning clay and working on some polymer stuff while he was at the shop. And then we drove home, but we took the long way home Saturday night because the snow started to fly, and we didn't want to come down over the mountain um, if it was possibly starting to get icy or very snowy. So then we um, we then Andrew did not come up on Sunday because he felt he would get more work done here at the house, and he also spent a lot of the day shoveling the sidewalks and all that around the house too, and helped shovel some of our neighbors. So that was nice. And I went up, and it was a slower day for us on Sunday, although some of the vendors in our room, there were 3 other vendors in our vendor room. There were 3 or 4 vendor rooms throughout the whole house. Um, and I think it was one of the biggest days for some of the vendors in our room. So you never know what it's going to be like. Big days for some vendors could be very slow days for others. And that was the case for us on Sunday. Um, but I then also came home again the long way home because it's less of a hill, less of a mountain actually. Coming up the mountain in the morning was a little treacherous, and I didn't want to come anywhere near it going down if it were going to be like that again. So that was that. That was my weekend. It was really nice. It was nice to get out. And I hope maybe we'll get some people from Johnstown watching these lives once in a while and hanging out with us. A lot of people seemed interested in what we do, and we had a lot of crafty people come through. So I'm hoping that they'll maybe tune in sometime. I didn't get a chance to share this to the Johnstown groups because it's hard to do other than one group at a time. Um, when I'm on a phone interface, the phone app for Facebook allows you to share to 10 groups at a time, which is what I normally do. Um, but the regular interface for every other device only allows you to share one at a time. So I didn't share it tonight, but we'll probably start doing a little more publicity for our lives um, in those groups too for people who might want to join us. Diane says it's 50 degrees here in Florida, getting down to 41 tonight. That's cold for here. Yes, that's cold for there. Absolutely, that's cold for there. When it's like, usually when we're down there at Christmas or New Year's, like it's in the 60s, like, or very close to that, I feel like, and when we go down to Orlando. And So that's cold. That's cold. Marion says, so far freezing rain hasn't been too bad. That's good. Suzanne says it looked very nice. It was a beautiful weekend. We met lots of nice people. For a small, for a small, I don't want to say it's a small show, but it's a small show. It's there were only, I think, 12 or 14 vendors, something like that. Um, and we were very excited to be included. But for a small show like that, and not, I mean, they did publicity for it mostly on Facebook, but they don't always have vendors at that event, so it differs year to year. I was surprised by the number of people who came in, um, and surprised and delighted in a delightful way. And also the number of people that came up to the third floor. The third floor has never been opened, at least in the last 20 some years. It had water damage, and they finally got a loan and repaired the ceilings and the roof and all that to stop that from happening, and then repaired all the damage. And so they opened the third floor for the first time, and you can tell it was probably like workers area or something at one point, because it had these small narrow kind of servant stairways going up to it. So they were not the big grand staircases that were coming up from first floor to second floor. And so uh, they were steep stairs. They were narrow. They weren't very deep. And so it was hard and impossible for some people to come up. And but we're thankful for all the people who did, and there were a lot of people who did come through. Normally when they have vendors, they used to put them on the second floor, but those rooms on the second floor that the vendors used to be in are now set up as bedrooms for bridal parties and brides and things like that to rent out and use. So it was a good weekend. We had fun. Marion says, too many pink trees. There were a lot of pink trees. There were. I think they were pretty, but yeah, there was one on the staircase going up to the third floor that was really pink, and I thought it was beautiful. But I thought about you, Marianne. I was like, Marianne would not like this tree. Susie says, I'm having a big delay on YouTube, but the low today was 53 with a high of 68. There's an amazing breeze. That's nice to have a high of 68. That's good times. Norma says, that's perfect weather for me, Susie. I know, right? I don't know. Low 53, that's a little bit lower, but I guess that's not too bad. A high of 68, that's a good high. There is definitely a difference between 68, like in the spring and fall outside, which feels so good, and then 68 in your house in the winter. We had our house at 66. That's what we normally have it set to. This morning, because it was so cold, I boosted it up to 68. And I have to say, still at 68, it feels not like spring 68 outside. It feels cold. Um, but yeah, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? How is everybody? How are you all out there? Other than the weather, what's been going on? Have you had a good weekend? Um, I'm trying to get my iPad up and running because our computer still cannot do email. The email is still broken. I haven't had a chance to really look at it and fix it yet. So I have to do that, and I will get that done. Now my email is not working right on my iPad. My iPad has also been having lots of issues. I'm like, why is everything going at once? So my desktop is not having a good time, and my iPad, the keyboard no longer seems to work very well, my keyboard case. And when it gets to be that kind of time, I start to think about, do I need to replace? And if I replace just the keyboard, my iPad is at least 7 or 8 years old, I think, at this point. And so it gets to that point where you're like, if you're going to spend $200 or $300 on the keyboard, because that's what they cost still, do you just end up getting a new device with a new keyboard? um, because of the age of the device. And is it worth just getting a keyboard for it? I have keyboards like this that I can use with it. Um, it's not the same as having the case. So that's fun times. Um, Marianne says we had a Christmas lunch at work. That's nice. That's nice. Suzanne said Christmas party Sunday went really well. And I finally did some tasks I've been procrastinating about. It's good to do that procrastination stuff, right? It always feels good. Um, I procrastinate a lot. Uh, I don't know. There is a difference, I guess. Like I think I have ADHD and there is a thing, it's not procrastination, it's the inability to get started, which is a very, I guess, apparently a different mindset than procrastination. Um, it's the inability to actually start on a task. And it's some kind of executive function thing. I don't know. But that's what I feel like I have. But either way, the result is the same. Something's not getting done that you think should get done. And it does feel good once you do it, I feel like. And you would think that that would be enough for the next time to be like, it felt so good to get that done. Let me just get it done again. Or get this done now. But that's not how it works, right? You just procrastinate or don't start on it again the next time. Um, I don't know. Maybe it feels so good because you waited so long. I don't know, right? Um, but yeah, so it was a very busy weekend. We have a very busy week coming up. It has been insanely cold. It is nearly too cold to work much at the cottage right now. We can only keep it so warm in the winter. And so I was there today some, and I did some packing and shipping today. I got a few things out for people. Um, there were a few people that I was carrying around some packages for a while. So if you got a shipping notice and then it hadn't moved for a while, I'm sorry about that. Um, it was mostly, I think I printed them on Thursday or Friday, and I missed the post office. And then this whole weekend has been like a crazy blur with the show and the winter weather and all that. So I did drop off those packages today. So if you got a notice and you're like, why isn't it going anywhere? Um, that's why. They were riding around in the car with me, and it was a very busy time. So um, yeah, sorry about that, but they are on their way now. Um, and yeah, just been wild. Um, I'm glad the Christmas party went well though, Suzanne. That's fun. Um, Marianne says, I am a classic procrastinator at home, but get the worst task done first at work. Yeah, I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to do that worst thing first. And even Andrew, he's like, I do the worst thing last. And I'm trying to be one of those people that just does the worst thing first and tries to get it done. And then everything else after that is just kind of a relief, right? Because if I don't do the worst thing first, I'm in my head about the worst thing while I'm doing everything else anyway. So um, I've been trying to be better about that. It's not easy with all my things, with my anxiety and with everything else. So it's my hair is wild. um, yeah, so it's been it's been pretty good try since I've been starting to do all that. Um, Norma says the post office notified me I have a package on the way. Good. You should also get notifications from us, y'all. Every time we ship a package, it shouldn't just be the post office. Stamps.com or Shopify should let you know because we put email addresses in for everybody. So you can check for those. I do get people that ask me about things when they're already on the way, but everybody should. We make sure that emails should be going out. Now, they may go to your spam or your junk, but it should tell you you should get an email from us. Um, Suzanne says, then I walked into a cat tree and thought I broke my little toe. I didn't, but it sure is bruised, LOL. Andrew did something the other day with his little toe, and he had a little, his toe was very bruised as well. And yeah, It's not good when you do that. Those cat trees can stick out sometimes. It's like they jump out at you. I know what that's like. We have enough things around here that jump out at us. It's a little danger zone sometimes to walk around, but um, yeah, I get it. I'm glad it's not broken though. I mean, I know they don't do anything generally for broken little toes, but at least it's not broken because that's extra painful. Um, I would assume. I've thankfully never broken that I know of a little toe. Um, let's see. What's everyone else up to? I'm gonna grab a drink because it's been so cold. So I was outside all day. I didn't have any juice here because I forgot to get juice on the way home yesterday because it was so I was worried about driving. So I just went home and I didn't stop and get juice. And then I had no juice today. And so I didn't have any juice to make my juice water. And this is all I've drank all day today so far. And it's also been so cold, I haven't wanted to drink. I hate when it gets like this because I go up to the cottage and things a lot. But it when I go up there, it's cold. And so I didn't drink anything up there. Let's see here. Norma says sometimes things from Shopify or Square are in my mail but don't show. Then when I search for them, they appear. This is in new mail, not spam. It's very weird. That's one thing I've been noticing. Um, I think you have an iPad, right, Norma? Is that where you see things? Um, I have noticed that sometimes on my iPad, which I have up now to check, when people buy things tonight, um, sometimes on my iPad, it doesn't show emails either. And I'll go into my phone and I'm like, there's all these emails, but they're not showing up on my iPad. And then I force quit it and then I open it again and all the emails come in. It's really strange. And it does say up to date. It actually checks for the mail. They just don't show up. And I don't have any of those categories set up. Like I don't do the promotions folder and the general folder, all that stuff. I just have all my emails in one inbox. Um, so mine does that too on my iPad. And I've noticed that sometimes I'll look on my phone and there's an email there, and then I'll go to my iPad to answer it because I like writing on a bigger keyboard and it's not there. Or vice versa. When we're doing the show here, I'll check for emails. And I've actually done the spreadsheet once or twice off of my iPad and then thought it was all done, went to my phone to check something, and I noticed that there are all these emails that I missed. So, yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It is a very weird thing. Um, Marianne says, my brother once had a streetlight jump out at the car. Just one problem with that excuse. The light pole was embedded in the sidewalk. Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's no good. That's no good. Norma says, no, this is on my phone, not iPad. I regularly search both senders just to check because your invoices don't always appear until I search. That is so weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I know that's been happening on my iPad too. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what it is with email these days. Um, Danette's here. Hello, Danette. Thanks for joining us. Danette, I think I have an email from you from last week that I've not sent an invoice for yet. It was really weird. I was Um, yes, I do. Because I was crazy this weekend, but I tried to I did the spreadsheets on this desktop and something happened that it ended up not syncing to my other devices. So I think Danette is the only one, but there were some invoices, and I think it's just hers, that I couldn't do because I could not open the spreadsheets all weekend on any of the devices I was on. So it finally it does seem to have synced finally because I checked today and I was able to access it. So um, yeah, that's a thing. This poor desktop. It's just I really have to stop relying on it because I usually do the spreadsheets when I'm here sitting at the desktop because it's a big screen and it's nice. But if things are starting to fall apart, I can't do that. Says I know I put the wrong letters. That's okay. I honestly, y'all could probably mess up the letters pretty well, and I would still catch them because as long as it's within the same day or before another one starts or very close to the other one, um, I'm just going to assume that you meant that night. Because sometimes when people send them, even the night of the show, the numbers get autocorrect, the letters get auto corrected and it turns them into other things. And I just go with, I'm assuming you're buying things from tonight, like, or from yesterday. So it's not a big deal. But I didn't even notice until you sent that, until I saw the email that you sent that corrected it. I didn't realize they were the wrong letters. Um, but, uh, um, But I did think that that was why the spreadsheet wasn't coming up because I used your letters to pull up the spreadsheet. I'm like, what is this? And then I saw your email, like, oh, well, let's try this. And then the spreadsheet still wasn't there. Anyway, um, let's see here. Anybody else say anything? Okay, not yet. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. I think um, Andrew showed you this this Italian choral on the show the other night, and somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody asked if that was available, and he said he had to check with me. This is still available. It's $120 if anybody is interested. So if that was you and you were interested in that, that is available. I checked everything to make sure. It's $120 for the strand. It's a at least a vintage, if not an antique strand of that Italian choral. So I did hear that while Andrew was live. I think I was at my pottery class. Well, I wasn't at the class, I was driving home. So I wanted to make sure that anybody knew that. I don't know who it was that asked, but there it is. Hopefully they're watching tonight. Um, yeah, what else? Just a busy weekend. This is going to be a busy week. At some point this week, I think we're going, I can't remember what day it is. Let's see if my calendar will pull up. Thursday. I think it's Thursday. We're going to Contemporary Craft again to teach another group of high schoolers. I think it's enameling again. So that's going to be this Thursday. We did it last Wednesday, and it'll be nice to kind of do it on Thursday this coming week because uh, when it was on Wednesday, it was really like we went there, we went to visit a friend, we drove home, I went right to my pottery class. It was just like a busy, busy, busy day. Which was kind of nice, but also I think we didn't have the live because of that. Um, and then Andrew the other night, which I can't remember what night, showed you all um these awesome new polymer clay pieces that he did, these pendants. So these polymer clay pendants um, are available. Let's see, why is that not focusing? There we go. And he set them in these bezels. They're really cool. I love these. And unfortunately, though, not many of them sold. So we still have a bunch of them left. So if you missed that live, um, I think that was on Friday, I want to say, because I was at the show. And yeah, I think he did that on Friday. Um, Marion says, I saw the pendants, so nice. They are amazing. I think he did an excellent job on these. I was really pleased with them. The one I was going to keep, however, has sold. Because when I saw that not many were selling, I was like, well, if that one doesn't sell, it's definitely for me. Um, and I even told Andrew that I'm like, I'm taking it. I almost took it over the weekend, and made it into something right away as as a pendant, but I figured I'd let it go through the weekend. And somebody did send me an email for it. Um, I haven't responded to your email yet, though. So if you ordered one of these, I have not sent you an invoice yet because it's been a crazy weekend and I've been catching up all day today doing things. So I will get those out tonight. This is the one, though. This was number 4. This was my absolute favorite one, and I love it. But it has been claimed, so thank you for claiming it. But just know you got a good one because that was my favorite. That little antelope creature, I love it so much. So he did, I think, 20 of those. And I think honestly only like 2 of them sold. So I was really surprised at that. So those I will be putting into the online store very quickly here, possibly tonight. Um, if you wanted to grab any of those, please grab them before then if you wanted to grab them from the live. Otherwise, I will redirect you to the online store to purchase those then. Once they're in the online store, it's easier if you just grab them there. So I will probably be taking pictures of those tonight, depending on how long this live goes and, all that good stuff. Norma says I missed that live. That's a shame. Catch it. Catch that live. Because they are amazing pendants. It was not I think there were at most points in the live, there were only about 8 people watching. So it's not surprising to me, I guess, that not many of them were sold, but it is surprising because they're so nice. And he created those all in polymer clay. They're super light. They're really beautiful. They came out better than I'd seen them throughout the process. I'm like, these are really cool. And then they came out even better than I had thought. And if y'all want me to, I can go through them really quickly if you want on this live. Let me know. And we can just take a quick look at them. But they're so cool. They're pressed with these pieces that Andrew has. And he's been wanting to press them out. And they just came out so well. Like the detail on them is amazing because I don't. And then he did. I want to I didn't think that the imprint was that. Like I know what he pressed them with is what I'm trying to say. I know what he pressed them with, and I did not think that the imprint would be that deep and that detailed, and they are. So me looking at them, I guess because I also know what they came from, he did an excellent job in creating those. Marion says, I love the antiquing. Norma says they're beautiful. Suzanne says, sure. So maybe I'll take you through those real quick again tonight, just so you can see them. We have more people watching, I think, tonight than we did on Friday. So if you missed Fridays, then we'll take a look tonight. I have to remember which ones sold so I don't show those again, but I think there were only 2 of them, unfortunately. So fortunately for you, maybe, you'll get a chance to get them again. All right. Well, what'd y'all eat? I'm going to ask that question, and I'm going to turn the camera. We had spaghetti. The one night, Saturday night, so when we were in Italy, we had this amazing, amazing meal of this pistachio, cheesy. It wasn't gnocchi. I forget what they called it, but it was kind of like gnocchi. It was like a mini gnocchi, and it was delicious. It was a little bit sweet because of the pistachios, and cheesy, and just butter, like rich. And so on our way home, we were going to stop and get pizza, but we went the other way. And so we stopped at the grocery store and we bought things to make that. And I guess it's a Sicilian dish, actually. And it was delicious. So we had that Saturday night. And then Sunday and now today, we ended up adding to it, but we added to it like a red sauce and regular spaghetti, and it kind of completely changed it. But it was pretty good. I have to say I liked the original dish, I think, the most because it was really good. It was all it was gnocchi, pistachios, onions, um, heavy cream, um, parmesan, and I think that's really about it. There, I feel like there was something else that I'm missing, but that's mostly what's in it, and it's so good. More like Spätzle, maybe. Kind of, yeah. I forget what they were called though. In Italy when we had them, what the name was. You know, they have a lot of different pastas. I don't remember what the name was, but it was good. It was probably the best meal we had in Italy, and so we tried to recreate it. I think we did a pretty good job. I think it was missing a little bit of sweet. I think the one we had in Italy was a little bit. It was almost, we called it almost like dessert pasta. It was so it was really good. And I think the one we made was a little bit less sweet, but we got close. We did get close. Suzanne had red beans. Red beans. Um, let's see. Okay. What are we doing? Let's start. Let's start with what Andrew showed. Sorry, I'm a little bit my brain's because I'm a little bit chilly in here. Andrew has the heater downstairs, and I'm a little bit chilly, so I'm like trying to stay warm and also um, talk about all this. All right. I'm a little distracted. It's a little cold in this room. Okay, so number 4 sold. And number 9 sold. And we have to invoice those people for that. Marion had pizza. We were going to get frozen pizzas, but then that's when Andrew decided to make that instead. So that was definitely a better call for sure. All right. So these are NPP. These were NPP lots. They're $22 each. This is NPP1. This is polymer clay. Surprisingly, like it looks like it was carved wood or leather, or even carved bone. But this is polymer clay that Andrew pressed, created, and then epoxy glued into these bezels. So that's one. Like I said, I'm going to go pretty quickly on these because we've shown them before. It says we're having pizza Wednesday. Nice. Oops. This is 2. And just to give you an idea on size on these are approximately 24.5 millimeter bezels with the bail on there, 32.5. And they are all the same size. This is NPP3. Oops. NPP5. This is a bird. Some of them are flowers, some of them are birds, some of them are just leafy designs. And I forget what the actual, I can't remember the thing that he pressed, if it's Afghan. I can't remember. And I missed that part of his show when he described what it was. I just know what they are because we've had those beads in the store before. Things that he was pressing. The flower. It's really pretty. Or we've had ones like we've had reproductions, I think, like it. This I think is it's a creature. but it's on its side. So you get the little foot of the creature, hand of the creature there. NPP7. NPP8. I think these are so nice. And especially if you're doing Cloud Dancer stuff with the white, I think this is a great accent color to go with that. Or if you're working with bone, carved bone, go great, I think, with Tiger Eye, with a lot of different Jaspers. Trying to think if I have a Jasper tonight. What would go well with? This is NPP11. Like, I think I have, I don't really have the Jasper. Hold on. Let me check. I saw something earlier. I think this is picture Jasper. Whoop. But like look at how beautiful that would be together with those. We've just sold 5. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Like, look at that. So nice. If anybody's interested in these, they're 7 a strand too. And I can give you a number on those if you're interested. Just let me know. I didn't have those set up for tonight. I'll add them to the show tonight. How about that? Because I've got 2 of them. And I want to say they're picture Jasper. I could be wrong. They might be. I can't think now. But like, look at those together. So nice. Add a few carved bone in there, or that kind of bone color, or some white. I think it could be really striking. Let me take 5 away since we've sold that one. Thank you. We've also just sold 3. Thank you so much. Let me put that one away. Set it over here with the sold ones. Okay, let's move these over. I can tell we've had cats in the room here recently. My mat is becoming a little bit of a mat of cat hair. So hopefully just excuse that, everybody. Got to do the vacuuming of the mat again. Suzanne says, I'll take a Jasper strand. Okay, I'll give it a number here in a little bit, but I'll save one for you when I do. This is another flower. This is NPP 12. Thank you, Suzanne. NPP 13. Some of them are just like I said, leafy parts or various parts of some of the animals that he pressed. Oh, I didn't know he did another one of these. I missed that. So since 4 sold, I think I'll be grabbing this if no one else does. That's 14. I love that. Love it. Okay, let me put one away. And like I said, the ones that are not selling, I will put into the online store pretty soon, either tonight or tomorrow, most likely. This is 2. 6. 7. 8. 8. Move these up. I didn't realize he did another one of these. 4 and 14. Oops, there's a cat hair. Unless somebody grabs that from me, that'll be mine. Unless there's another. Who knows? This is the first time that I've actually seen all these, y'all. So as I show them to you, well, there is another one. Look at that one. Has less of a view of the horns, but more of this beautiful kind of leafy design below it. See, there are more of them. 16 is this other bird. So the other bird sold. If you're interested in a bird, there's that one. That's 16. This is 17. It's kind of an abstract design. They're just sometimes nice. I actually, is that part of the bird? I think that might be the bird. Maybe. Looks like the bird's tail. This is 18. Susan says, I keep telling you cat hair is magical. Yes, I know it is. It's magical also in that it shows up everywhere, right? But it's our magical confetti, right? It's 19. And the last one is 20, which is one of these flowers. So that's the full series of those. If you're interested in any of those or more of those, they're available. We've just sold 2 more tonight, so thank you so much. We appreciate that. A lot of magic in my carpet then, says Marian. I know, right? Ours too. Our staircase right now is covered in magic. I haven't vacuumed the staircase in like a week now, going on a week and a half probably since we've been doing all this stuff. So it's very much covered in magic right at the moment. All right. So how's everybody? You doing okay? A lot of magic on my yoga pants, I bet, right? I bet. Magic, magic everywhere. Didn't had a scare with Lucy this past weekend. Last week we noticed her limping and we thought it would get better. She got worse on Saturday, wasn't herself. Vet couldn't get her in until today. Oh no. Is she doing okay? Did you figure out what it was? She's probably a mess with y'all moving, and that's hard. All right. Let's see here. Now, what I'm gonna do since let's see here. Where are my papers? Underneath. Underneath. We ended up going to emergency vet in Indiana, did some blood work. I asked about Lyme disease. All right. Marion says, but I vacuumed the magic away, and within a half hour, it's all magic. I know. That's what happens, right? That is definitely what happens. Okay. So let's get into the show tonight. Tonight's lot numbers are XTM. XTM. And then it says negative for Lyme, but positive for anaplasmosis, a bacterial infection from ticks. Yes, it is. Wow. Huh. And that's what they think it is? That's making her limp? Jeez. Well, hopefully you can get that eradicated. She's on doxycycline for 21 days. She's doing much better today. Good. Good. So that's it. So it is helping. That's good. All right. The first lot, official lot for tonight is charoite. These beautiful charoite barrels, smooth barrels, not barrels, barrels, large rice beads, tapered barrel, tapered beads, whatever you want to call them. This is charoite. They're $8 each. They're really pretty. Charoite is another one of those. It's a little bit, it's gaining popularity. It's also a little bit more expensive these days. So $8 a bead on these. 2 of them available, XTM1. I know we had some sugilite the other night and people really seemed to like that. So I found some more purple and got the charoite out. This is XTM2. These are hematoid quartz they're melon, not rounds though, elongated melons. We've just sold both of XTM1. Thank you so much. Those are sold out. These are hematoid quartz elongated melon beads. These are hand carved. These ones are approximately 30 by 20 millimeters. There are 3 of them available. They are $6 each. Danette says the anaplasmosis attacks the muscles and tendons around the joints. The vet said they're seeing more and more animals testing positive for it. Huh. Yeah, because I think that's on when I do my tick tests, they tell you if you could be infected with that or not. XTM1, those are both sold. Thank you so much. Put those away. And XTM3, these are $7 each. There's only one available because I promised Suzanne one already, but this is the Jasper strands. Suzanne, even though you claimed, please send us an email for this, even though I'm only saying there's one. There's technically 2, but you get one. And this is XTM3. I think it's picture Jasper. I want to say it could be like a desert. I forget. There's another, I think another P word kind of Jasper. This is a Jasper anyway. XTM3. And this is more of the story. Check for ticks. The deer are stripping and eating our holly bushes. So many deer around here. Wow. Wow. XTM3. Done, says Suzanne. Thank you. I'm also going to do XTM4. This is 120. I'm going to go ahead and give this an official number in case the person who asked about this is still interested in watching. This is that vintage or antique. I think it's actually antique coral from Italy. And that is available XTM4, $120 for the strand. Generally, these are coming in around, let's see, let's just pick one, around 11 millimeters long for these. Really pretty coral. They do vary in size, obviously. I just picked one that was 11 millimeters, but you can see there's all different sizes on here. And these would look really pretty I think Andrew was showing them with his pendants. So, like, look at that. So pretty together. Make a really luxe necklace or something with that, I think. Be super pretty actually. Throw a few of these in here maybe. That'd be really nice together. All right. Let's see. Okay. $6. I think we've got 4 of these available. Susan says that coral is gorgeous. Wish I had the money for it. I do. I know. I would be thinking the same thing if it were in our stash. You can obviously see I've never used it, even though I mean we have put it up for sale a few times before. That's why I had to check to make sure we didn't sell it anywhere. But yeah, it's one of those that like even I'm kind of timid to use because I'm like, I don't know. So you get a lot of 6 of these. These are vintage check glass. And it says the jasper is pretty and goes so well with the pendants. It is, right? This is really pretty. It goes really well with those pendants of his. These are vintage check glass rounds, faceted rounds, and they are 15.5 millimeters. You get 6 of them for $6, so $1 each. And I have 4 lots of those, I think, available. Maybe 5, but I have at least 4. Susan's here. Hello, Susan. Says better late than not at all. Exactly. Thank you for joining us. We just took a tour of all of Andrew's pendants that were still available from Friday, in case you missed Friday's show or didn't get a pendant from his new polymer pendant collection that he made. So you just missed that so far. And then we have these we just started on our lots for tonight, XTM lots. Let's see. I'm going to do these let's do these at $4. I think I have some really good deals for y'all tonight. So these are glass beads. Got the lampwork glass. They are not artisan technically. I mean, they have to be artisan because somebody has to have made them, right? To be lampwork, but they're a more mass-produced glass, but they're really pretty. $4 for the strand. You get 4 beads on the strand. Each bead is approximately 14.5 by 30.5 millimeters. 1 strand available, XTM 6. I'm going to go ahead and put the hematoid quartzes away. So far, they've not sold. They are still available, $6 each. Hand faceted, well, hand meloned, fluted, whatever you want to call that. Really beautiful quartz. 3 of them available, $6 each. That's XTM2, XTM3. We have the Jasper, which let me pull out one of his pendants one more time to show you. In case you're just joining us and you're like, what pendants are you talking about? These ones. And we're talking about how lovely this Jasper goes with that pendant or those pendants. So if you grabbed one of those pendants, you might want one of these strands of Jasper. They're $7 a strand. I've only got 1 left. 1 strand of those available. XTM 3. All right, XTM4. I'm going to leave this out for a little bit. I don't know who asked about that during his last show, but it is available. I checked to make sure. Let's see. Okay. I don't have just one of these that I can show you, so I'm going to show you the whole hank that we've got. Talk about Cloud Dancer. You're looking for white. These are these beautiful Japanese, vintage Japanese. So they're made in Japan. Vintage Japanese. One strand looks like this that you'll get. These little teardrops. They are approximately 6 millimeters by 8.5 millimeters. You get one strand. You don't get the whole hank. You get one strand. They're $5 only a strand for you all. I don't know how many are available. There's at least 20 strands available. So I'm going to put a 20 on there that will do at that price. $5 each only. That's per strand. Like I said, that's a strand. And let's see here. Just so if somebody's tuning in late, they're like, oh, that's only $5. No, that's more than $5. But I think $5 is an excellent price for those white teardrop Japanese vintage beads. All right. We had these at, let's see here. We have these at 32. But I've only got one strand left. So I'm going to drop it down to 25 for y'all. Super good price, super good deals. Just came off of a show high, so you're getting extra good deals. I always have a really good time at shows. I enjoy doing shows, especially even if they're not monetarily great. As long as they're busy and I'm talking to people, it always makes me feel good. Plus, it's cold, and you know, do the good deal, the burning good deals to stay warm. I don't know what I'm talking about. These are beautiful moonstone, blue moonstone faceted coins. These are some of our higher end strands. You got the tassels on there. We'll do them at $25, 10 millimeter coins. One strand left only in the blue moonstone. You'll see some really nice flash on these. If I get the light right on them. It's hard doing this with holding the light with one hand, moving it with the other. They're beautiful blue moonstone. One strand only, $25, XTM 8. All right, XTM 4, I'm going to put away. That's the Italian antique coral strand. $120. XTM 6, I'm also going to put away. It's this kind of bumblebee check glass, the large beads, $6 for the strand. This is, I saw flash in those moonstone. They are pretty. Yeah, they are. They're pretty moonstone. Woo! I almost dumped the whole bag of the XTM6. Don't do that. Don't do that. Or XTM5, I mean. Get in the bag. Close the bag. Okay. XTM5. XTM6. We'll grab a bag for that. Didn't have a bag for that earlier. XTM6, only $4. One strand available. All right, that's for the XTM7s over here. XTM8 over here. Cloud Dancer, everybody needs some white beads. That's why I'm pulling them. XTM9. Hold some white beads for y'all so you have them. for Cloud Dancer time. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let go. Yeah, I have to see how these are strung up. I think they're already knotted. Yes. Okay, good. These are 6/0 seed beads. These are not high-end seed beads. You know, they're not like Delicas. They're probably Chinese made, is my guess. But they are really pretty because they're kind of this white, but very shiny. They've almost got like a metallic coating. And they're marked at 6/0. You get the whole hank. I'm just going to do the whole hank for $5. $5 for the whole thing. XTM 9. Didn't ask, are you going to do a Cloud Dancer kit? Andrew asked, and some people said they might want one. I don't think we had an overwhelming response to that, but possibly, maybe. For now, we're going to start trying to sell a lot of the white beads. You can make your own kit together, right? He will probably end up making one. He's just been really busy. He applied for a show today, so he's been busy doing that. And he's on a conference call right now. I'm going to do these for $4 a strand. Got 8 of these available. We just sold XTM 8. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is XTM 10. These are these beautiful fire polish strands, long fire polish strands. Oh, they meant XTM 9. Okay, XTM 9. XTM 8 still available. XTM 9 is sold. Beautiful fire polished strands. And these are check glass, about 4mm, long strands. Normally, in the store, nowadays, about half of that strand is about $5 or $6. And now you're getting double that for $4. We only have 8 strands available, $4 each. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this email because that was a mistake. That's okay. We'll go XTM 9. That one is sold. Let me put that away. Okay. And XTM 11. I'm going to give you a deal on these tonight. We're 58. I'm going to give you the deal for 42 are these beautiful pearls. Let's see. Stunning pearls. People always ask us for these kind of weird pearls, this high quality. You can see all the colors on here. This is a short-ish strand. I'm going to say close to about 10 or 11 inches. I think, is this an inch? Oops, let me zero this out. Yeah, that's the inches mark. It's really weird. This ruler is not. Those are inches. So this ruler, I got it from my grandparents, and I have no idea what kind of ruler it is. This goes to an inch, right? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's divided up into tenths, which usually inches are divided up into eighths. So it's really weird. And there's all these things on there that some of them seem to be millimeters, but they don't always work out exactly right. And like there's a 20 in the middle of this, and I don't know why. So I don't know what kind of, but this is about an inch. So that being said, this strand, let me see, wait, no, this is the inch. This strand is about 11 inches. So it's a vintage strand. We've got one of them only, bringing it down to $42 for you all. Look at the beautiful colors in that. And I bet, let me just see, I bet if you took one of these pendants from Andrew, mixed something like this and this together, that would be so pretty. So pretty. And then maybe throw in one of those. We still have one of these jasper strands. Hey, there's Andrew. We still have one of these jasper strands. That by itself goes really well. But imagine if you up the bling a little bit with one of these. And then add that. Like you get really, really creative with it. Andrew says pulls out the warmer tones, right? Like you could go so wild and yet have a really, really beautiful result. Okay, let me put these back so I don't get them out of order here. Okay. Hello, Andrew. How are you doing? How was your meeting? We did a recap of your pendants from Friday. Suzanne says, I was wondering if Andrew's pendants would go with the pearls. They do. That's actually probably how I would put them together. And if those pearls don't sell, if these don't sell, I don't usually like to take apart a strand like this, but because if it doesn't sell either, I told y'all I'm keeping, since 4 sold, I'll be keeping 14, which is this one, if it doesn't sell. And they don't sell, I may just do something with that. Because I think that is pretty nice. And if that jasper strand doesn't sell, I may just add that in there. You got to play with the things, right? Like jasper and high-end pearls. People are like, ooh, why would you put jasper with high-end pearl? Why not? Right? Why not? So there you go. Anyway, Andrew says it's my last board meeting for Touchstone. Did they clap you out? That's what they used to do at Apple. When anyone would leave Apple on their last day, the whole building, anybody that was in there, when somebody would leave, you'd get clapped out the door. So they would just clap for you until you left the building. It was pretty phenomenal, actually. It was a nice way to send people off. That's when people left on a good note, obviously. Andrew says, I'm sad that I won't be running again, but it'll be good to buckle down for our business. Yes, yes, it will. Okay, we had these at 18. I'm going to make them 12. Let me see how many we've got. No clap out, but they made a resolution for our service. What's that? There are 2 of these available. Suzanne says, why do people trash Jasper? If it's not your thing, don't ruin it for right? I know. Some people get the stuffy remarks about it all. And I'm like, what? Go take your stuffiness somewhere else. This is the flower Amazonite. Flower Amazonite. Whoa, come on. Beautiful Amazonite. Marion says, I love Jaspers. Me too. And I think this together with this would be really lovely. And then again, let me keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Keep pulling out. Keep pulling this out to put this with that. Look at how, like, I'm going to push this over here with some of these beads. Like, look at how that brings out those orangey tones in some of that flower amethyst. Not amethyst, flower amazonite. Beautiful. You get a little bit of that flash from the check glass, the vintage check. That could be a really pretty necklace. Basically, Andrew says that it's included in the board minutes and therefore part of the organization's history. That's awesome. And these are, let me make sure, am I back in millimeters? Millimeters. These are 8mm rounds. Susie says, what is the pendant? That's Andrew's pendant. I showed them at the beginning of this show. So if you missed that, Susie, maybe you stepped away. This is one of Andrew's pendants. That's NPP 14, $22. But there are a bunch of them. So if you missed the beginning of this show, check it out because there were a bunch of them. All right, XTM7, I'm going to put these away. Andrew made a bunch of new polymer pendants. And we sold a number more today, which was nice. Thank you all. Did a recap of them for you. Since some of you missed the show on what's the word? Friday. That's the word. XTM8. And let me move this over. Move this one over. Move this one over. Okay. These were 24. I'm going to drop them down to 22, but I can't go. I can't go lower than that on these. They're too nice. This is XTM 13, and these are microfaceted tourmaline. Microfaceted tourmaline. Beautifully juicy stones. Really high grade stones. And these are 2.5mm. 2.5mm microfaceted tourmaline was $24 per strand. Now $22 for you all for tonight only. And I had these at 36. I will do these down to 32. And if you didn't like that tourmaline, maybe you will like this tourmaline. I have 2 strands of this available. $32 a strand. 2 strands available. I'm going to just show them both to you. XTM 14. Faceted rondelles. even higher quality. You can see the transparency, translucency in there. Not a lot of inclusions in there. Very clear stones. And so that's XTM 14. There are two available there, $32 each. $32 each. Okay. Let me put 10 away. And I'm going to put 11 away. So those still unclaimed on these pearls. Surprising. Especially since the price came down. What? All right. And then I'm also going to put the flower amethyst. I keep saying amethyst. Amazonite. Flower amazonite away. And let's move these over. All right. These are faux coral heishi beads. They're vintage plastic, made to look like coral. These were vintage, made in Hong Kong. And they look a lot like coral. They're oddly cut to look more natural. You get this huge strand. Let's see, that is, where are we at here? That is 24, about 32 inches. 32 inches. Vintage plastic faux coral. $10 a strand. 2 strands available. Oh, excuse me, everybody. XTM 15. All right. This is a vintage. This is an older bead blend from Andrew. Luxury bead blend. It has some of these opalescent snail beads in them. It has some of these golden pearls, both freshwater and I believe also glass pearls. You get all different, has amethyst in there, all different kinds of beads and stones. You know, Andrew's luxury bead blends, they're always full of good things. Let me open this up so you can kind of see down in a little bit more. That glittery pony bead in there. There's some out for y'all to see. Beautiful beads. We've only got 2 of these left. So instead of me putting them in the online store, I'm going to try and sell them here. So we're bringing the price down to $10 for y'all on those. XTM 16. All right. I'm going to do these at $2 each. I've got multiple lots of these available. Let me see. Sorry, everybody. My screen has just gone yellow. I just need to change that. All right. XTM 17. These are vintage tiger eye beads that are already wire wrapped to give you a bail. So they're really beautiful vintage tiger eye, and they're cut kind of on these cool diagonals, corners. And so I'm going to do them for $2 each. I also do have some that are not wrapped. So if you'd prefer ones that do not have the wire wrapping through them, you just want the beads, you can also request those if you'd like. But mainly the reason I'm showing these is because for those of you who don't like to do the wrapping part, it's already done. Nice double bail up there, nice and secure. And so that's XTM 17, $2 a bead, or a pendant, really, because they are pendants at this point. And let me go ahead and put some of these away. This one away, XTM 13. So of those available, 2 of those available. It's 2.5 millimeter tourmaline. And did I size these ones? These are 3 millimeter. 3 millimeter tourmaline on these, XTM 14. We've sold some of the 17 so far. Thank you so much. Still have some available. Whoa. XTM 18. All right. I've got these little dyed stones that are already wrapped. And because they are dyed stones, I'm going to do them at $1 each. I've got multiples of these available. I could sell them for more than that for sure in the store, but for you all, we'll do them at $1 each on those. And XTM 19. We've got yet another batch of some of these dyed stones in a more blue color. It's like blue green that are already pre-wire wrapped, pre-bailed. They're more blue, and we'll do those at $1 each as well. Just fun little things. Let's see here. 2 of these. What did we have on them? We had these at 55. And took them down to 42 each. Good discount on these. XTM 20. These are ametrine. Ametrine. So you can see some of the yellow and some of the purple in the beads. So that's amethyst and citrine together. We've got 2 strands available of these. Ametrine. Beautiful, beautiful beads. Nice color, nice striations of both yellow and purple in the same bead. A lot of times you buy ametrine and you'll get like a bead that's purple and a bead that's yellow and a bead that's purple and a bead that's yellow. This is truly mixed. So truly ametrine. $42 only per strand. Nice kind of faceted nuggets. 2 strands available, both shown $42 each. Sold some 19s. Thank you so much. Okay, let me put this away. Let me put 16 away. Everybody's grabbing the. I thought for sure people would like the gold pearls in this. 16. Some of y'all may have gotten that before. Put these away. 17. You know what? I'll leave those out for now. Let's leave those out for now. Since we just kind of showed them. XTM 21. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Who's all here? Who's still here? Have you joined us and not said hi? Let me know. XTM 21 vintage glass drops. I feel like these are dusty. Let me get my little trusty microfiber cloth here. Take these off a little bit. That happens in these. These are old beads, vintage if not antique on these ones. I love this color. It's got a metallic kind of almost AB or metallic blue on top of these amber beads. You get the whole strand vintage glass drops, $22 for the strand. They are they're all different. It's made in a time when things weren't completely uniform. 15 millimeters approximately by 6.5 millimeters. Really pretty strand. And let's pull out one of Amber's pendants again, just to take a look and see. That'd be pretty cool too. That'd be really fun. I feel like the blue kind of metallic pulls out the dark recesses. Do you see that happening on your side? I feel like it really pulls out kind of those dark recesses that he has in the pendant. Let's put them in there like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, XTM 21. Let's do 12 on this. This is a beautiful agate. XTM 22. Beautiful agate in that kind of those honey colors with some of the dark browns, ambery colors. And these beads are about 6 millimeters, 6 millimeter beads. Beautiful. And you know, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. There's another one of his pendants. I didn't even pull a lot of this stuff with these in mind. Some of them I did, that Jasper I definitely did. But the more, like, look at these. So beautiful together. A little leafy pendant. That's NPP 10. Anybody's interested in that one? Gonna go from 28 down to 20 on this one. This is a beautiful lampwork bead. I love this bead. And it's in yellow. It's not I know people don't always get crazy over yellow. I love it, but it's got yellow, red, and this kind of very light blue and brown. It's quite, and those reds are a brown red. They look more red on screen than they do in person, but it's just such an interesting bead. And I love it. I don't know if we've shown this one much before. And it's kind of that lentil shape, large hole, and giving you a good price reduction on that. It's about a 33 millimeter bead. The hole is about 3.5 millimeters. Very cool. It almost looks like a creature, like an elephant, or like there's an eye, a mouth, the nose. It's so cool. And we just sold it. So thank you so much. That one has sold. Guess I won't be using that one in my next project, right? I was considering that. I like that bead. I think it's just such a cool bead. But thank you for grabbing it, person who did. We appreciate that. XTM 24. We had these at $6 each. I will do them at $4.50 each, and there are 2 of them available. These are large labradorite flashy babies. So we can get that. There's the flash on that one right there and there. Hole goes lengthwise. We have this one that has more of the blue flash to it. There's some orange in there as well. $4.50 each. 2 of them available. They are slightly different sizes. If you want to pick the smaller or the larger, you can let me know or we'll pick for you. Generally, that's the easiest, but if you want to pick, you can pick tonight. It's about 16 by 31 for the smaller and 17.5 by 35 for the larger. XTM 24. Marianne says, glad someone bought it because it was whispering my name. Marianne's yawning, but here. Norma's still here. Oh, a lot of comments. So nobody, I didn't get any comments because they weren't coming in. Sorry, y'all. So Andrew says, I was thinking of dropping you off at work on Friday so I can pick up my art on Friday at Touchstone. Okay. Are those mine? Oh, that's probably the tourmaline. No, they were not. I don't think they were in a bag that was marked. I could sell it. I'll keep the pearls, says Andrew, right? Suzanne says, I have a strand of the faux and getting something that's going to be coral. Very light and useful. Yeah, they're really fun. Andrew says, I was going to make these for when Pantone Color was living coral, but decided to keep it. Suzanne says, bless you. Thank you. Andrew says, I used to have a customer who didn't like to wire wrap, so she'd pick stuff out and I'd wire wrap them for her on my downtime. She would have loved those, right? Andrew says, ooh, I love those. I don't know what it is. Maybe the ametrine. The tiger eye look like caramel drops, right? They're really cool. I like the shapes. Did you tell everyone about how I made cinnamon rolls? No, I did not, Andrew. Thank you all for commenting because I didn't see any of these comments until they all flooded in at once. Now I'm hungry for caramel. I know, right? Danette's still here, heading to bed soon. Look like a purple amber. These, yes, they do. But you get the blue flash. Okay. Now I'm caught up. Sorry about that, everybody. The comments are strange on StreamYard lately. Okay. These are microfaceted amethyst. And let me see how many of these I've got. They're really nice. Whoa. I've got 4, 5, 6 strands only available of these left. We started out with a bunch of these. I've only got 6 left. I was just thinking you were ignoring my comments, Andrew. Nope, not ignoring. Just wasn't seeing anybody's comments. It was getting very quiet. I was getting a little bit nervous. Cinnamon rolls, yum, says Danette. They were very good. I don't know if there's going to be any more left. I left some for myself, but we'll see what happens when I get back down in the kitchen. These are faceted rounds, micro-faceted rounds of amethyst. Really pretty color, really high quality stones. 2.5 millimeters. And we're doing them for $15 a strand. 6 strands available. You know what? I should check, but let's do it for 14 a strand. That's the lowest we've ever gone. And I will do them for 14 a strand tonight for y'all only. He says it's okay if you were. No, I don't ignore people. Even you, Andrew. I don't ignore you. That's a beautiful shade of amethyst, says Norma. And the best price ever on those so far. We've never gone to $14 on those. What are other fillings for cinnamon roll type desserts? Anybody got any input on that? Other types of fillings? I was thinking maybe orange. Oh yeah, people do orange for cinnamon rolls, right? I'm running out of room. Let me move this over here. Let's start these over here. All right, 'cause these are big bags. I'm just gonna get them out of the way. Nuts and honey, says Marianne. Now, some people don't like to do the wire wrapping. They just want the pendants. That's a great thing for them. Where's my bag for those? Oh, here they are. I'm gonna put the ametrine away. These are really pretty strands of ametrine. True ametrine XTM 20, $42 a strand. Chocolate, maybe, says Andrew. Danette says, my mom used to make cinnamon rolls with coconut as the filling instead of cinnamon. Huh. I have extra dough, is why I'm asking. Danette says, not a lot of coconut. I'm not sure if she mixed in with anything else. Huh. Okay. I think we'll go to 30 tonight. Start off the week not too intense and not too long. King cake season is close, and they have all types of fillings: chocolate, orange, praline, pecan, coconut. Andrew says, I've never had that, but I like coconut. I know, coconut is so good. Chocolate and orange, says Marianne. I agree with that. Chocolate and orange would be delicious. Okay, this is XTM 26. This is an agate that Andrew soft soldered a long time ago. A long time ago. Soft soldered by Andrew. Nice, very thin agate slice. One available, was 18, bringing it down to 16 for y'all. It's got that nice big veil on the top. This is approximately 30 millimeters by 55 and a half. Andrew says it's a rainbow agate. Look at that color, slight color in there. Very cool piece. XTM 26. Andrew says in the daylight, you can see it. I don't know if we can show you this way without blinding you all. Really cool. One available, of course, XTM 26. Nope, we sold one of the amethysts. Thank you so much. Andrew says, I taught this class at Beat and Button maybe 12 years ago or so for this off soldering. Marion says, lemon or lime curd or marmalade? I'm just practically giving these away. XTM 27 are these vintage plastic, 2-hole. You can see they're 2-hole, kind of blue roses. I think they're cool, but you know, giving you a really good deal. $3, pretty much giving them away. Somebody can use those. I think it's fun. XTM 27. Let's see. Let's give you a real good price deal on these. XTM 28. One strand of these available. Black spinel. Black spinel faceted shield shapes. Drops. These are, you can tell they're black spinel. They're nice and heavy. Heavy for their size. XTM 28, only $34 for that strand. Originally was $45. And these are approximately, this is a really popular shape for us, 16.5 millimeters by about 13 millimeters. Black spinel, nice high quality stones, faceted, got that beautiful flash shine on there. One strand left only. Oh, we sold another 25. That's the amethyst. Thank you so much. Andrew says, I have cranberry and orange marmalade in the fridge, but it's been there a long time. Oh boy. Suzanne says, raspberry, strawberry, cream cheese, and whipped cream. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Okay, let me put 21 away since nobody's grabbing it. That's that strand. No takers on that. Here, one more time, I'm gonna bring this down to 20. Before I put it away, I'd like this to find its home if we can. Lowest price ever, $20 for the strand. Before we put it away, let's try one more time. XTM 22, I'm going to put these away. Mary says, okay, I want all of these rolls. Susie says, definitely cream cheese. Norma says, me too. Right? What y'all doing to us? What you doing to us, Andrew? I'm going to put 24 away. It's these two labradorite pieces. Beautiful stones, only $4.50 each. They'd make great pendants. And let's see here. I'm going to leave this out since we're still selling some of those. Move 26 up here. Move 27 up here. Move 28 over here. Even savory with savory with cheese and apple, says Suzanne. Ooh, yeah. Susan says, I'm so hungry. We ate before the live, but I am definitely going to be eating again. I got some potato chips for tonight. I got some, what did I get? I got some, I think, what do they call them? All dressed or dressed potato chips. We don't get those around here very often, so I grabbed them, had them the other night. I like them. And then I think I got a sweet barbecue potato chips. All right, we had these at 16. Don't yell at me, Andrew. I'm going to do 10. Furnace glass. Beautiful furnace glass. And why did I just blank on his name? Help me, Andrew. Wow. This is the expensive furnace glass, y'all. And I don't know why I just blanked on it. Because that name usually pops right out for me in my head. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. A lot of these little tubes. David Christensen. Thank you, Marianne. Yes. David Christensen. I knew it was, I'm like, David. What is the last? Christensen. Christensen furnace glass. $10 for the whole lot. Normally this is sold by the gram and it's expensive. So there you go. You get a whole lot of it. Norma says, I got some fudge at the church bake sale yesterday, and I think I may need to eat some right now. Nice. Maria says, I'm not hungry, but yes. All right, an XTM 30. This will be the last lot for tonight. Let's see what I've got in here. What can I do? What can I do? Let's do this one. Let's make sure this is. Let me pull these off the strand. They are not tied. And that one tied. Yeah. Let's just do this for $4. $4. Give me a deal. Oh, we sold 27. Thank you so much. Those are those vintage plastic 2-hole blue roses. Very strange, but very fun. And we're doing these crystal hearts. You get the whole strand. $4 on those. Nice big crystal hearts. $4 for the strand. They are 22 millimeters by approximately 19. There you go. XTM. Boy, that's a hard one to read. XTM 30. Alrighty. And let's do a giveaway. Do a giveaway? Giveaway. I have this amethyst, this beautiful amethyst piece. And it's a bead. Nice amethyst. If you would like to win this, you have to have something going out or have ordered something tonight. And what was let's see, what was the name of the house that I had the show in this weekend? Let me know the name of the house that I had the show in this weekend. First person that we see in the comments wins this. We haven't done a giveaway in a while, I feel like. I know this isn't a huge one, but it's a nice stone. I like it. I would use this for sure. Marianne gets it. Russell House. Thank you so much. Put Marianne's name on this. And we will put that in a bag as well. All right. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, we did a recap of Andrew's porcelain pendants earlier. Not porcelain, polymer clay pendants earlier, and then we got into the show here today. So if you missed anything, please do rewind and replay. And I'm going to start working on the spreadsheet and sorting and getting things ready here on my end. If you have sent in an email over the last 2 or 3 or 4 days, I may not have replied. I was replying to some here and there when I could, but I still have some to get back to. So I'll be working on that today and tomorrow. So if you have any questions, now's the time to send an email. And I can work on getting back to you. Susan says, I need to do a replay on those pendants. Yes, please do. He did 20. We've sold only 4 of them so far. I will start putting them in the online store probably. I thought I might do it tonight, but I think at this time I'm going to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to start putting his polymer clay pendants in the online store tomorrow. So you have until then to watch the replay and get them here. I don't know if we'll increase the prices in the online store for those or not, but you always get the best prices here. All right. Marion says, night, all 4:30 a.m., not very far away. No, it is not. Have a great night, everybody. And we'll see you back here tomorrow with something else. All right. Thank you so much. We love you all, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.